Hello students, how are you? I hope everybody is feeling good, especially today after you have finished your midterm tests, and I hope you are satisfied with the result of your test. If you are not, then probably it's a sign for you to study harder and so that you can get the best result at the end of this semester. Okay, yeah, so for this week, as you can see over here, we are in week 9, and the topic about week 9 English 1 for Diploma 3 KU31101 is about production. Yeah, so it's a continuation from week 7 material. Week 7 is about product design, and this week we'll be talking about the production, and particularly we'll be looking at how to explain pie charts. Okay, so let's check the outline for this video first. Alright, so we'll have a quick review on our midterm exam, and then after that we'll talk about the objective of the lesson for this week, and then we'll talk about the topic of week 9, which is about production, and we will look at the pie chart and how to present a pie chart, and then we will do some practices, right? Alright, so now we will talk about the quick review from week 8 activity, which is about midterm exam. Yeah, this is just a short question. How was your midterm exam going? I hope everything is good, and I have checked the result of your midterms, and you also have known the result of your test. So if you think it's not satisfying, study harder. But then if it is satisfying to you, you also need to study harder, because there will be big exam coming in week 16, yeah, on December. So yeah, prepare yourself and study all the materials. And again, if you have question about the midterm, probably a question about the answer, why the answer is this, why the answer is that, you are most welcome to ask me in person or maybe in the class. Yeah. Now we move on to the objectives of today's meeting. So as I've mentioned, the topic is about production, and what is the objective? The first one is for you to be able to comprehend techniques in presenting ideas in form of writing, and then you also will be able to describe a pie chart information in form of writing. So at the end of this week's material, we hope that you are able to produce a piece of writing telling how to present a pie chart. Alright, so now we will talk about production, and because it's talking about presenting through a pie chart, so we'll have a look at the definition of pie chart itself. So what is actually a pie chart? A pie chart is a circular statistical graphic which is divided into slices to illustrate the numerical proportion. I don't think this is what do you call it? I don't think this is something unusual, because I think you've met plenty of pie charts in your life. I think even when you are reading newspapers, you can also see pie charts, and many reports are also presented in pie chart, because it's very easy to see the circle over there. So this is the sample of pie chart. So normally it's as pie shape is circular, and it's usually divided into colors. Yeah? So it's differentiated with the colors. This color identified, and this is the legend. Okay, so the legend of the pie chart, and usually it also tells you about the percentage. So let's say, for example, this one, fish has the biggest number here, because if you can see, it takes more proportion compared to the other the other elements or the other explanation over there. Okay, so that's the sample of pie chart, and I think this is not new for you, I think. All right, so now we'll look at an example of how to present a pie chart. So look at, I want you to look at this, and please pause this recording and pause this video and do a recording of this reading, and have a look at how how the writer presents this pie chart. Okay, so how do they start it with, and then what is the word used, and then after that how to continue an idea until the closing of the presentation. Okay, so pause this video first and then have a look at the reading by yourself. So this is about the annual production of cassava. Alright, so now we'll continue with the techniques on reporting annual production using a pie chart. So as you can see, there are we already seen one example of how to report an production using pie chart. So there are 3 tips that I actually write down over here. The first one is by starting from presenting the data using the smallest number first or the biggest number first. Okay, and then after that we continue with using transitional markers, and then the last one is we use vocabulary related to company production. Okay, so we will look at this one by one. Alright, so we will see the first one here, which is about presenting the data. So in presenting the data, we can start with the smallest number or the biggest number. So why do we need to present with the smallest number first or the biggest number first? It is in order to help identify, sorry about this, they're double, identify the largest and the smallest category, and then also to understand the gradual differences between each category. So and it also helps, I think, the reader to understand the flow of the the production. Let's say, for example, okay, so the biggest one is this, the second biggest is this, and the third biggest is this. So what happens if you scatter like the biggest number and then the smallest number and then the second biggest and then the second smallest? That will be very confusing for the readers to understand your presentation. So that is why if you want to start with the smallest number and then you continue with the second smallest, and then gradually talk until the biggest one, or from the biggest to the smallest. Yeah, so to help identify which one is the largest or the smallest, and then to understand the gradual differences between each category. Right, so now we'll talk about the transitional markers, the use of transitional markers. I think this is not something new for you because you also have used this without realizing that you're actually using a transitional markers. So what are the transitional markers? Transitional markers are used to indicate changes of idea in a passage. We'll look at the chronology. So transitional markers of chronology, it is used to indicate transitions of ideas chronologically. So let's look over here. So what we are using is we can use the beginning the transitional markers of beginning, following, and then ending. So the sample of the markers is to begin, to start, at the beginning. All of those are the examples of the how to start a beginning ideas. Yes, ideas in the beginning. And then we continue with the following functions of transitional markers as following. You can use next after that, and then the following after that. So we already have after that. The next process is something like that. Yeah, so there are plenty of other examples. And the last one for the functions of ending, you can use finally, to sum up at the end, at the final, something like that. Yeah, so those are what we call as transitional markers. The transitional markers of chronology helps the reader to understand what idea is coming, what idea is expected to come. Yeah, so for example, if you say to begin, okay, so this is the time when the presenter is presenting the beginning of the idea. something like that. And then if you are talking about the following, okay, then there are still some steps to follow. And then at the end, okay, then it comes to the end of the presentation, something like that. Okay, so it really helps the reader or the viewers to understand the chronology of your idea. And for the last one, we have vocabulary. Yes, so we have vocabulary over here. And there are plenty of vocabularies, as you can see. This is only the example. So we have manufacturer, supplier, safety measures, logistics, project manager, price tag, bulky production ratio, non-flammable production standards, production costs, order backlog, notice board, in progress, production cycle, warehouse, productivity indicator, product design, and quality control. Okay, and these are just the examples of the vocabulary that you can use when you are presenting your pie chart. Okay, so have a look at the meaning if you want to see the dictionary, fine, or if you can Google it, that will be great as well. Yeah. Now, just a quick vocabulary test, everyone. So there are 10 questions over here. Price tag, supplier, safety measures, production cycle, project manager, order backlog, notice board, non-flammable, warehouse, quality control. Okay, so all of this, please help yourself to fill in the blanks with these words. And then for the second practice, what I want you to do, I want you to look at this reading again, this presentation again. And then after that, I want you to look at, I want you to identify from the text about annual production of cassava, whether first, it starts from the smallest number or the biggest number. So how does the presenter present the idea, present the data? Is it from the smallest number or from the biggest number? And then after that, what kind of transitional markers are used? And then after that, if vocabularies are used or there are many vocabulary used in the presentation. Okay, so please identify the text, and then later in our practicum we'll be discussing about this. Alright, so just a quick reminder, I want everybody to have a look at the material in the practicum, and there is one activity in the practicum which is asking you about making a sentence using the vocabulary. So for that exercise, I want you to post your answer in the YouTube comment. Okay, so make one sentence using as many vocabulary from production as you can. Yeah, and then after that, post your answer in the YouTube comment. Pardon me, in the YouTube comment in the YouTube. Yeah, in the below. Okay, if you want to see the example, the examples are provided in our practicum slides. So go ahead and look at the slides in the practicum session. And then after that, we'll also look at the pie chart description, and then we'll do some practices for pie chart description. And also please do the exercises given, because I'm going to ask you to do a bit of writing of the pie chart in the practicum session. So please check the materials and do the exercises given. Okay. Yeah, so that's the material for this week, everyone, and here are the references. Next week, we'll be talking about inventor and invention, and we'll talk about the grammar related to it, which is about past tense. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. If you have questions, you are most welcome to ask me in person or in the group. Thank you and see you all. Bye.